Okay, hello everyone. My name's Paula Knipp. I'm a librarian at St. Petersburg College up at the Tarpon Springs campus. And today what I'm going to do is share with you guys some tips and tricks for using Google Scholar. Now, for those enrolled in the LIS 2004 class, you have an assignment that uses Google Scholar. So that's originally why I created this webinar, but I thought it was useful for anyone at St. Petersburg College because Google Scholar is great and it can help you in multiple classes. So the first thing is how to get to Google Scholar. It's really easy. The website is scholar.google.com, or if you just go to Google and type in Scholar, it's normally the first result that comes up. So this is a Google product, and what it does is it kind of scans through and just pulls out your more scholarly, credible type information. Normally, it's coming from various colleges and universities. And it actually works with the St. Petersburg College databases. And I'm going to show you how to set that up on your computers. So first, I'm going to share my screen. And this is what Google Scholar looks like. So how we get there, again, you can go to scholar.google.com. You can see that up in the browser bar up here. And what you want to do, you just want to come up with keywords. So your keywords you've probably already created when you're doing research, or you might have been doing some research inside the library databases. Google Scholar will take those keywords and work the same way. So for example, if I wanted to search for research about hurricane activity, I'm going to go ahead and type in hurricane activity. And the first thing you'll see that Google Scholar does, it gives suggestions. So it's just going to say, are you looking for hurricane activity in the North Atlantic and the Atlantic Basin? You do not have to take those suggestions. You can just hit that blue button and it will do the search. Okay, so that got us about 191,000 results. Now, another thing I like to tell people is if you're searching for a specific phrase, or let's say you were looking for literary research about a book title, you want to put it inside quotation marks. And what that does, that keeps all those words together. So for example, if I, instead of just hurricane activity, if I was actually looking for a specific organization, let's say the EPA, and I wanted to spell out their official title, United States Environmental Protection Agency, I'm going to put it in quotation marks. I'm just going to type this in here. Make sure those quotes are in. And now it brought us down to 192,000. But what that's doing is that's keeping all those words together. So it's only going to be pulling up sources specifically about the United States Environmental Protection Agency. And you can use this trick when you're searching our library databases as well, because otherwise, without those quotation marks, it's going to scan for just the various words. So it's going to say, okay, well, this article says the word united in it, so we're going to pull that up in the search. And this article has the word environmental, so we're going to add that to the search results. Putting those quotations around the phrase, you're only going to get articles that have those 5 words together in that order. So that's why we use the quotation marks. You can use that if you're just doing a regular Google search. Again, you can use it when you're doing library research. It comes in really handy. So I'm just going to quickly check just to see if anyone has joined us live. And it doesn't look that way. So that's okay. If anyone comes in, please feel free to announce yourself, or if I'm going too fast, you have any questions, just stop me. I want this to be really useful for all of you. So whether you're listening to this pre-recorded or if you join us live, please feel free to ask any question. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm just going to search for hurricane activity. So here's our results coming up. Now to access the articles, This is the biggest question I get here in the Learning Resources Center. I have a lot of students that try to access the articles by clicking on the links on the left. It makes sense, right? So you have the title, you just want to click on the article and open it. However, I have found that when you try to open it on the left-hand side, sometimes it will just not connect. It'll say you don't have access to that article. It'll try to take you through another institution, another college's library, and you're not going to have access. Or it's going to try to charge you for that article. Please don't feel that you ever have to pay for an article. So your SPC libraries, we have a wonderful interlibrary loan system. We can get you articles for free as a student here. But the other thing that just makes it easier is just use the links on the right-hand side of the page. So right over here. Just ignore everything on the left. Now this one, we're pretty lucky. It looks like there's a link coming up for every single entry. Sometimes, and I'll see if I can get it to recreate it. Of course, not when I'm doing a live broadcast. Okay, here's one. So notice here, it's blank. That's when I'm going to guess we're not going to get access to that article. I'm just going to go ahead and try. So it's only giving us the abstract. And this one, of course, might actually give us the article, but usually it's either going to make you log into something or try to charge you. So if you can get yourself in the habit, try to just use the links on the right-hand side of the page. It will just make your life easier. Now another thing is the Find It at SPC link. Now not all of these will have it. You'll see very few actually have it. But what that means is this article is available in the SPC databases. So it's really cool. Google Scholar works alongside our databases, and a lot of students find it easier to search using this interface, and that way they can look, see which articles are in the databases and get in that way. So for example, if I wanted this article, I can click on this link, Find It at SPC. And this screen just says that I can find this article in all of these different databases. So I can follow the link, and then I would log in with my borrower ID. That is my student number, and the PIN is the last 4 digits of my Social Security. And then I can actually get into the college library and get my article. Now, if you want to set this up on your home computers or devices, it's pretty easy to do. So I am in Chrome, the browser Chrome. Depending on your browser, this might be in a different area. So you'll notice here on the top left, these 3 lines. I want to get into settings somehow. And when I can find settings, there is this section called Library Links. You'll notice here I have Pinellas Public Library Cooperation and St. Petersburg College already listed. You can choose up to 5 libraries. You can search for them. So I'll just go ahead and search for St. Petersburg College, even though I already have it. And then that way you can connect and you're going to be getting those Find It at SPC links. It's still going to make you log in. So it'll say online access to library is usually restricted to patrons of that library. You need to log in with your library password. So that's normal if you do get a message to log in. Again, it's your student number and last 4 of your social. So that's called Library Links, and you can find that inside Settings. Okay, so if there is not a link to Find It at SPC, Sometimes it'll just look like this, PDF ub.es. I'm going to say 9 times out of 10 those links will work, and you can click on it, and here is our article showing up down the page. So that's pretty much how you want to access these articles. Again, use your links on the right, whether it's Find It at SPC, taking you back into our databases, or just going directly to the article. Okay, so here are some really cool features about Google Scholar. The first thing is saving your search. So you'll notice each of these entries has a little star. When you log in to Google Scholar, it's the same credentials as your Gmail, your Google account, and you'll see I've already logged in. Right up here on the right-hand side, here is my logo, the top right. So I'm already logged in. So when I go through here, I can click on these stars, and that saves it like a favorite places. That way, every time I'm back at Google Scholar, if I log in at the top right with my credentials, I'm going to find this area that also has a star called My Library. And here are all the articles that I have saved. So it's really cool. So when you want to go back, let's say you're doing research, you have a paper coming up and it's not due for about 3 weeks, but you want to get your research done out of the way, but you want to read your articles later. You can go through here, click on the stars, add them to your My Library, and those are going to be saved for you. Again, you do have to log in, and you do need a Google account. Google accounts are free. It's totally up to you if you want to make one. But if you already have one, if you're already a Gmail user, then you do have a Google account, and you can simply log in with your normal email and password. Okay, the other really cool thing about Google Scholar, underneath each of these entries, you'll notice this little quotation mark. This will actually cite for you. So when I click on that, here is my MLA citation, already created for me. I can copy and paste this into a works cited page. Or if I'm doing APA, here is my APA citation. I can copy and paste that into my references page. And it has a few other citation styles as well. At St. Petersburg College, mainly we're going to be looking at just MLA or APA. Now I know that we always caution students, be very careful when using these citation makers. They can make mistakes. There's a lot of errors. I will say Google Scholar does a pretty good job. So you'll notice it is italicizing the journal titles. At least with APA, your title of the article is lowercase except for proper names. So that's looking really good. You will see that they do not include the URL at the end. I know with APA, it does want you to have a URL at the end. And with MLA, at least with our instructors, a lot of them want to see that URL. But it's easy to do. So let's say you wanted this citation. You can copy this. And to get your URL, once you have your article up on the page, you can copy the URL at the top here, or sometimes it'll have what's called a DOI number, which is a digital object identifier, and you can use that instead of a URL. But if you ever need to include the URL at the end of your citation, once you have that article up on the page, then you can copy it. Okay, so another thing with Google Scholar, a lot of times your professors will say, I want you to only find sources within the last 5 years or within the last 10 years. You'll notice on the left, you can refine by date. So they have since 2013, 2016, or 2017. You can also do a custom range. So if you just wanted to see the last 10 years, we could do 2007 to 2017, hit search, and now we're down to 46,000 results. So that's kind of neat that it will refine it for you. Just one of the many things about Google Scholar, which is very helpful. Another really neat thing with Google Scholar, cited by. So one way you can tell if an article is credible and useful and written by the proper authorities is if other scholarly articles cite it as well. So this one, you'll see it was cited by 322 other authors. And you can even click on that and you can see all the people that cited that original source. Similarly to that, next to it, you'll see related articles. So I always tell students, if you're doing research and you find an article that's just, it fits all your needs, it's fantastic, look at their related articles. Because a lot of times, if you find one really good article, it's going to have other ones that are very similar that could also help you with your research. Pretty neat, huh? And same rules apply. So I'm under the related articles. Again, if there's a link on the right-hand side of the page, I want to use that link. And it should just bring up our article. And you'll notice some of these URLs, a lot of these are coming from colleges and universities. LSU, University of Mass. Now this I have just noticed within the last couple weeks. So I used to be able to access these ResearchGate articles. Just like the other ones, it would come up with the PDF. Now that one is working, of course, because I'm doing a live broadcast. But then I was seeing that it was making people log in and create an account for ResearchGate.net. Personally, I'm not a big fan of creating accounts for these separate sources. So just something to keep in mind if you are using links and they're coming from ResearchGate and it's not just pulling your article up automatically, it's up to you if you want to create an account with that service to read that article. I can't really say for sure much about the site. I haven't done a lot of investigation at this point. So I'm not going to say whether that's a good idea or a bad idea. But I do know that at least last week it was prompting students to create an account to view the article. And again, just my personal standpoint, I'm not a big fan of that. So I prefer to just use the links that will open the article automatically, unless it's taking you to find it at SPC. If it's taking you to find it at SPC, by all means, log in with your student information. So ones like this one. Okay, so that is all the major features I have with Google Scholar. I hope that you found this informative and helpful and you learned something new. I think it's a great tool. I think it's wonderful that they work alongside of our databases and they give students options to either search using our library layout or to go through Google Scholar and still get into the library that way. So I think it's a really good partnership that we have. And, I just think whatever helps you guys find credible information as quickly as possible is a great thing. And because especially with all the misinformation out there on the web, when we have a tool like this that can kind of refine to your more scholarly type material, I think it's great. The last thing I do have a lot of students that are doing assignments that require scholarly peer-reviewed journals. For the most part, the items coming up in Google Scholar will be your scholarly peer-reviewed type journals. However, I can't guarantee that every single thing is a scholarly journal. The reason why I say that is sometimes it pulls things like blogs from colleges and universities, or it could be a student's maybe like a capstone paper where it's still a student written paper. It's not quite a expert written scholarly journal article. So there will be some of that coming up. We do have a lot of information on how to tell the difference between a scholarly versus popular article, and who knows, maybe I'll do another one of these broadcasts that kind of gets into the difference and how to spot a scholarly article. But again, keep that in mind that for the most part, yes, these will be scholarly articles, but I just cannot guarantee with 100% that everything in Google Scholar will fit that criteria. Okay, well, thanks for watching this, and I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of your campus librarians. We are always here to help you guys.